To the chat we go. All right, Michael Mystery, whoopee, whoopee. Chris Collins had birthday. Chris Collins also, when is Rosa coming on? I don't know. The other thing I forgot to mention, because I didn't have a show yesterday, the New York Supreme Court, which is just district court, they give it a grandiose name. You might think it's like, oh, it's the highest court in New York. No, it's just a regular district court. New York told FINRA, you have 30 days to show up to my court and explain why you won't pass out the blue sheets. Why you won't show us the blue sheets. There's some betting going on as to what their excuse is going to be. Immunity. There's privileged information in the blue sheets, etc. But from the wording, I read the document. From the wording of the court order, basically it's like, give me a good reason. And if it's something like, oh, it's privileged information, the court's just going to say, okay, redact the privileged information, show us everything else. So I think it's a good sign that they've got 30 days to come up with stuff. They have until the 26th to respond, and then they got to be in court on the 30th to explain themselves. So it sounds like they got a good draw for a judge on this one. So that's awesome. And we still haven't heard from Rosa's case in Florida any day now. Within probably the next week, I expect to hear something from the court, just at least a mumble or something. And that's what we're waiting on. Okay. Money over Mayo. FINRA can file for extensions for showing the blue sheets. I'm sure they can file for extensions. They'll probably try every trick in the book, be my guess. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. They're fighting, I think, more legal battles right now in courts than they probably ever have before. That usually when they're fighting stuff, it's always an arbitration, but this is outside arbitration things because we're not FINRA members, therefore we can't necessarily be forced into arbitration, and we are suing on legal grounds. And I say the royal we. I'm not doing shit. I'm just sitting here yakking in a pineapple shirt. But it's got to be exhausting for the FINRA folks, especially when, in the end, they should have no financial interest in whichever way this case goes, right? They aren't going to profit, so they can't lose anything. So why are they fighting so hard if that's the case? Who are they protecting, right? Well, they're buddies. That's what's happening. Meow meow. Can the judge order shorts out of metamaterial if fraud is shown on the blue sheets? Also, green slime. I still have not watched Green Slime. I should have watched that last night. I started watching that YouTube show, Citadel. I was like, ooh, spy show. Spy shows are my favorite genre. And, oh my God, it's so hard to watch. It's got Stanley Tucci, and I was like, all right, Stanley Tucci, here we go. It is directed in such a way that every shot is like, wouldn't it be cool if we did the shot like this? And it just makes it really hard to watch. And the dialogue's terrible. And the plot is like so bad. Just absolutely. It's like a show made for adults with dialogue at maybe a third grade level. And everything is just a montage. But it's like not a montage. I don't describe it. It's terrible. I should have watched Green Slime instead. I failed you, meow meow. But I don't know if this particular court order isn't specifically for the judge to make any ruling on what should be done if the blue sheets are released. It's basically just say, hey, do people have the right to see the blue sheets? And that's the judge saying is so that's what this order is about. So if we get the blue sheets, and then say someone like Rosa can take that discovery and hand it to the judge in Florida, that judge can make a ruling based on whatever it is that he decides that's relevant to. But if the closing positions happens, I don't know if it'll be specific to Acme Parent Company or if it would just be to MMTLP Nextbridge. Quiet Quest released the Kraken before May 30th. Oh, so I hate growing my beard long, but I will keep growing as long as the Kraken are in the playoffs. Don't shave during the playoffs. So hopefully it gets big and bushy and really itchy, and I just do this the entire show because at some point it likes to grow back into my face. So I know you weren't talking about hockey, but I am now. Okay.